Hey guys, it's Dave coming to you from the Hobo Dojo for the second time today. Some of you noticed that there was a video that went up for like 5 minutes. It had very low sound. And so I understood that it was fine on my Windows Media Player after I made the video. It was half an hour long. It was just me ranting like I'm doing now, but freshly caffeinated early in the morning. And I kind of liked the video. It was okay. I mean, there were some stutters and stuff like it. I always is when I talk off the top of my head. But I thought I got to the ideas that I wanted to talk about. And it was a shame that there was no sound to it. So I tried uploading that same video again. I deleted it when it had no sound, and I uploaded the thing again, thinking there was some kind of glitch going on with YouTube. And but that one just wouldn't upload. It uploaded, and then it wouldn't process. The processing just kept going for like an hour and a half, and I gave up on that. And I went back over to my video editing program and made another rendering of it. I rendered it from the start again, played again just great in the media player. And so I tried to upload that, and the upload went fast. And I looked at that one, no sound at all. So I mean, is this YouTube deciding that they finally figured out a way to silence me, as they'll put my picture up but not my voice? I don't know. I don't really believe that the world is plotting against me in quite that way. It just seems very strange that this is happening. I've never had this problem before. I've had issues with sound before just because I don't know how to do sound very well. And it's taken me a while to figure these things out, and it's still not as good as a lot of other videos you'll see. But I don't know. So anyway, let me just say I'm just going to cover a couple of points that were in that video. Actually, I'm just going to cover one point in that video, and the rest I'm going to put into a regular video because there were some good things that I touched on. But I do want to say thank you guys very much. You've noticed that we've been demonetized a lot, and we try to put that little banner up when we know about it. Sometimes we don't know we're demonetized because we're not exactly watching our videos all the time, and it'll start monetized, and then it'll demonetize, or even in rare occasions it's demonetized and then it'll monetize. I've told you about that before. It waits, the algorithm somehow thinks the videos are fine once it's already had 75,000 views. It's not going to get another view forever. So then now there's commercials. Great, thanks so much. So who can understand this stuff? We do the best we can. You guys make the difference. You really do. I can squeak by any month, because I live so cheap. But Jason has a house and a family and a kid that's off and a wife that's now staying home and being a full-time mom. So he's working his tail off at his regular job and still somehow producing good videos. So, I guess he's young and ambitious and talented, and I'm an old dude. But it's difficult. It's difficult lately. All the ways that I stay sane are removed. I mean, you can't meet a friend for a beer in Los Angeles. Can't do it. You can't go out and just meet a friend at a bar and the two of you decide that you are going to risk your health by having a beer together. Sorry, you can't do it. You can buy beer and go home and drink alone. So it's basically everything that you can do that's healthy. All of the, all the human interaction that we all as humans need, all of that is outlawed all over California. Some places are a little lighter than others, but still they're just clinging to it, man. They cannot admit that they were wrong. They cannot admit it, that this thing was just basically flu plus 10%, something like that. So anyway, sounds like somebody's coming up to my back door here. Maybe not. So anyway, I wanted to thank you guys so much for pitching in a little extra when you notice that something is demonetized, and it's a pattern with you guys, your generosity and your concern to keep the channel going. And we don't really have to beg for it, and we don't really like to beg for it, but I do want to at least acknowledge it and thank you for it. The other thing is I have a question for you. So if you've got a minute, I'm certain that a lot of you have been thinking about that, and I got to admit, it's a baffling question. What can Donald Trump do right now? And the way that I see it is that he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. You've got all of these blue cities, and like Seattle now is all taken over. It's 6 blocks of downtown, and they're far left-wing city council member opened up the city hall to them. They all came in and they're spray painting all over and defacing the place and ruining the buildings. And it's a six and the police, like in Minneapolis, they walked away from a precinct building, and now they just sorry. What kind of police walk away from the precinct building? I mean, who are these people? You know, what kind of body snatcher pod action is going on in these blue cities? It's really hard to understand. I mean, I was a Democrat, but I was never a Democrat when Democrats were like that. This is, you know, this you can see why I left 8 years, 9 years ago, however long it's been. When I left the Democrats, it was already pretty bad, but now it's just like everything's virtue signaling. Everything is politically correct, and all the speech codes. Everybody's afraid to say or do anything. So in my view, all that Donald Trump can really do is nothing, and just and just say, look, I respect your authority, Democrat governors, Democrat mayors. Good luck to you. Use the National Guard if that works for you, and just not do a thing that has his name directly on it, because he can't walk out there and say, okay, let me address all Black Lives Matter. Let's talk. They'll just, you know, they don't like him even a tiniest bit. So whatever he says, they'll do the opposite. So he can't say, let's please be peaceful. They'll burn extra buildings that night. So there's really nothing he can do except allow it to play out. And I hate the thought that all these the good law-abiding citizens, and of course these business owners who live in these blue states, will take such a terrible hit. I hate that, because I don't dislike everybody who happens to be a Democrat, especially people that run businesses. I have a soft spot in my heart for anybody who actually creates a business. To me, that's a big thing. So I hate the thought that all of them will lose so much, as they already have in these riots. But I don't see it playing out in any other way. And maybe this ends up being the historical object lesson that finally people see. Look what happens when authority really does back down. Look what happens. It's infinitely worse than the terrible thing that happened with one knee on one man's neck. We can all agree that that was an awful thing. I haven't heard one single person say that, oh, yeah, he deserved it, or that's a good thing. But this may end up being the historical moment where everybody sees where this leads. Where does this really lead? If you keep allowing the children to tell you what it's okay, the children to tell the adults what's okay to do. That's really what this is. Mom and dad have gone into the other room, nailed the door shut, and they're just listening in shock as the house is demolished by the brats. That's what's going on. And I hate to see this happen, but we have to remember, when it feels like the country is falling apart. I know some of you guys out there in the red states, you're going, it doesn't feel like it's falling apart to us, Dave. It does from where I sit. It feels like the place is falling apart. I'm glad nobody knows where I am. That's why I never mention exactly where I am, because they'd be coming after me. But what was I going to say? There's not that many of them. There really aren't that many of them. There's a lot of Democrats, but most of them are moderate. And this is that hard outer edge, 10% maybe. And most of these people aren't really even in the political process in any real way. They're just running around lighting shit on fire and turning over squad cars and whatever else mischief they're up to. So we have to remember that there aren't that many of them. They're not going to be able to destroy the whole country. They're just going to make a damn mess out of 6-block or 8-block zones around the city halls and government buildings in pretty much every blue city. It's going to continue for a while, and we'll just see how bad it plays out. But maybe this will stand as an object lesson for history about how you really cannot let all the adults leave the room. So anyway, thank you guys again, and feel free to tell me if you have some inspired thing that you think Donald Trump could do, please share it with me, and I'll share it with the rest of the world as best I can. All right. Thanks, guys.